Welcome once again to Octane Mobile Gaming with yours truly, iOctane. So the new deck is here, and it doesn't really strike me as a really powerful deck initially, but I might be wrong. But I'm just gonna go through the cards. I'm gonna have a look at the battle skill, and we're gonna see if it's a powerful deck. First up is Masters of Valiance. So this card will create 2 water power gems when the battle skill is activated. Plus it will create an extra water power gem 4 with every 100 beast killer intensity. That intensity is not too bad. However, they've dropped the production rate from 4 or 5 power gems down to 2, reducing the amount of power gems that you'll create initially, and I think that's the reason why they've reduced it to 100 intensity. But it's a start, so let's not knock it. So if this card does, if Master of Vigilance are fully loaded, so there is a status called fully loaded, and you get this fully loaded status from your Master Collection card and your Ultimate Form. So if they're fully loaded, they'll unleash their ammo, creating an extra 2 power gem 4s, and this is counted as a second battle skill activation. So even though you've activated the Ultimate Form's battle skill once, it will count as 2 activation if you've got fully loaded active. So if fully loaded is active, you'll create 2 power gem 4 first and then 2 power gem 4s after. So it counts as 2 activation of your battle skill. The second one is a passive called Deployed Deliverance, and this is where you get your fully loaded status. So if you haven't attacked on this turn, fully loaded property will become active and it will reduce the damage taken by 20%. So that's the second passive. So that's where you get your fully loaded status from. The third passive is Final Deployment, and every time a hero activates a power gem battle skill, you will create an additional water power gem 1. And that's the reason for why you get double activation for the battle skill on your Ultimate Form. Get that double activation, you'll create 2 extra water power gem 1 via your Ultimate Form. So your Ultimate Form by itself can create 2 water power gem 1s and 4 water power gem 4s initially. That's without any intensity, as long as you've got your fully loaded status active. Your fully loaded status as well, you'll start the fight with the fully loaded status active, so that's not bad as well. So you've got that on the first turn, and that's your Ultimate Form. Doesn't really seem really powerful to me. It does give you a boost, and the boost comes in with your second passive, Final Deployment. So it will increase beast killer attack by 10% for every battle skill that creates power gem. So whenever you create use a battle skill that creates power gem, you increase your beast killer attack by 10%. So your Ultimate Form can increase this twice, so that will give you 20%. And your Master Collection card does relatively the same thing. It's got a double activation as well. So if you've got 1 Master Collection card, that will give you 2 activation, so that gives you an extra 20%. So that's 40% from 1 Master Collection card, 1 Ultimate Form. However, your Ultra Rare does not create power gems with its battle skill, so that's a pitfall for your Ultra Rare. But your support card and your main card do produce power gems. So the more Master Collection card you have on board, it's the better your deck will do. So let's have a look at the Master Collection card. So your Master Collection card will do almost the same thing like your ultimate form. It will create 2 Power Gem 4 plus 1 additional for 100 beast killer intensity. If you're fully loaded, it will create an extra 2 Power Gem 4 and remove fully loaded status. This will count as a second activation. So there we go. You got the double activation with your battle skill for your Master Collection card as well. And the passive, Deploy Deliverance. If you do not attack, instead you duck and cover, gaining the fully loaded property and reducing all damage taken by 20%. You will start the battle with fully loaded, basically active. So you get 2 activation from this, 2 activation from your ultimate form. So let's have a look at ultra rare, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I say your ultra rare does not create power gem with its battle skill. Its battle skill increases one enemy's turn count by 1. It's got a 9 gem charge rate but a 6 turn cooldown. That is rubbish. It's actually delaying your enemy by 1 turn. So why the 6 turn cooldown? That for me, that's rubbish. It should be a 3 turn cooldown, putting it in sync with the other 2 cards, your Master Collection card and your ultimate form. This is absolutely a rubbish card. So every time a hero activates a power gem battle skill, it increases power gem battle skill. It creates 1 additional water power gem 1 and increases beast killer attack by 10%. So this is the card that gives you the boost. It gives you the boost, but it doesn't create power gems with the battle skill. But its passive creates 1 power gem each time you use a battle skill that actually creates power gem. It increases it by 10%. So having more ultra rare on your deck won't do you any favors because you won't be creating a lot of power gems. So I think the maximum amount of ultra rare you could need on your deck is 1, just to stack with the attack boost that you're gonna get from the ultimate form. So if you got your ultimate form, 1 ultra rare and 3 Master Collection card, that would be your perfect deck. For me, I think that's the perfect balance. 1 ultra rare, don't need more than 1. 3 Master Collection card and you're set. That will give you a better chance of creating a more powerful deck, because the deck in and of itself doesn't create a lot of power gems, and you need power gems to actually take advantage of the attack boost that you're gonna basically be getting from this deck. You can, however, sacrifice one of your Master Collection card and put in another beast killer card that I'm going to show you a bit later. So let's look at the support card. So this is the 5-star stats for the support card, and your support card will create 2 water power gem 1s, and it will heal for 2000% of recovery plus 10% you recover more each point of beast killer intensity. For every 1 beast killer intensity, I'm reading that. So you can increase your recovery quite high. Your recovery can be quite high. It's got a 3 turn cooldown, so if you use two of these cards, you can stagger them. So you activate them one after the other. So you activate 1 this turn, you activate 1 the turn, not the turn after, but every other turn you activate 1 and you'll be healing continuously. However, the power gems that it creates is just power gem 1s, and it only creates 2 power gem 1s, so that's not going to do you any favors as well. So that's a nice card, but is it a brilliant card to have? I don't think so. Nice to have, not need to have. Let's look at the main card. So the main card will create 2 water power gem 2s, and if Android is fully loaded, he will unleash ammo, creating an extra 2 power gem, removing fully loaded status. This is count as a second activation, so it has pretty much the same battle skill as the Master Collection card. However, it doesn't create additional power gems based on intensity. It falls down in that area for me. I think cards like this, even if it mimics the battle skill of the Master Collection card, it should mimic the total battle skill of the Master Collection card. The fact that it's not creating power gem 4s or power gem 3s, it's creating power gem 2s, I think it could create an additional power gem 2, which would make it a more usable event card. It can be used, but it's not really that valuable without the ability to create extra power gems based on intensity. And I've seen it on so many cards over the last month where it's got such a wonderful battle skill, but it falls down because it's unable to create more power gems based on intensity. And I think this event cards, if they're gonna be basically a weaker version of the Master Collection card, it should at least have the full battle skill of the Master Collection card. Create power gem 2, create extra power gem 2, remove fully loaded, and create extra power gem based on intensity. Even if it's power gem 1s based on intensity, that would be far better. It would be a far more usable card than just creating 4 power gems. It also can give you the fully loaded status, which is overlock. So if it does not attack, then you get the fully loaded status. So it can give you the fully loaded status. However, is it a really usable card? Not really. It doesn't create a lot of power gems. However, it can be used as a damage dealer if you've got cards to create the power gems. Is it a really powerful deck? Not really. Is the Ultimate Form a really good utility card going forward? I've seen better. So for me, I don't think it's a brilliant deck. That's what I think. Okay, but not brilliant. Okay, that you should chase after it. You won't have the season coins because it's the start of the season. You probably have the gems. If you want a Water Beast Killer deck, you can go for it, because the only other Water Beast Killer deck we've got is the Party Time deck. Let's have a look at that one. So this is the Party Time deck. So it's a party posse of power. It came out last year summer, and it has got the Beast Killer. It can create an ultimate gem as well, which is quite good. It cleanse debuff. It creates power gems on turn begin. It's nice. It's not good, but it's nice. It's a decent ultimate form to have. You can create a deck like this. However, if you put Supreme Santa on the deck, Supreme Santa primarily depends on noble intensity. You probably would have to run a lot of noble relic, because none of these cards would generate noble intensity. So I was looking at this combination using Combat Ready Crew and the 2 ultra rare from that deck, but it's not going to work because I'm not going to be able to generate a lot of intensity, so I have to look somewhere else. So Party Posse of Power is a card. If you've got it, it's got the Beast Killer. So it's one card that you could use to get the Beast Killer status. The next one that you could use in combination would be this one. Fabled Sojourner. Fabled Sojourner was the ultimate form for the previous water event, and it's a commander card. However, it does give you boost. And the boost that it gives is whenever this era attacks, it increases the total damage dealt by Beast Killer hero by 50% and decrease all damage taken by 10%. So this will give you a 50% damage boost, which is far better than attack boost. So this is one card that you could add to the deck. So you could sacrifice, if you've got 3 Master Collection card, 1 ultra rare, 1 ultimate form, you could sacrifice 1 of your Master Collection card for this card. The good thing about this card is it will count the number of power gems on the board, so you would want to activate this card last, and then on the next turn it will create the same amount of power gems, but Power Gem 1s, or is it Power Gem 2s? Okay, so it will create power gems and count the number of power gems on the board. And Dorothy will click her heel and create power gem 2s. So it will create power gem 2s. So if you've got a full board of power gems on your main attack, on your next turn, it will create a full board of power gem 2s. So you can get a double attack, if you see where I'm coming from. However, on the second attack, you will not have the attack boost that comes from the current deck, but you will have the attack boost that comes from Sojourners. So that's not a bad card to have. I haven't got much Beast Killer cards. I've got quite a number of Commander Beast Killer cards, but not a lot of Slayer Beast Killer cards in my deck. But I will try and come up with something tomorrow and see how we get on. However, I have had a rethink of my strategy on the game, and I'm gonna go back to the way I used to play the game last year. So what I've decided to do is, if I get up to tier 3 of the vault and I didn't manage to get a gold card on those first 3 tiers, I won't go any further. I won't go up to the 4th tier. I'll only go up to the 4th tier of the vault if I manage to get a gold card on the first 3 tiers of the pack of the vault. If I do get a gold card on the first 3 tiers, I'll go up to tier 4 just to get the main card or the event card, to see if I can get the Shiny Master Collection card. If I don't manage to get a gold card or the ultimate form, I will not go into the 500 gem vault. I'll leave it. I'll save my gems. Retro pack, I'll go into the retro pack. I'll only spend 1,000 gems to get 6 season coins. So when I calculate it, I'll get 9 from the main vault. I'll get 6 from the retro vault, and that will give me a total of 15. So by the time I get up to the last event of the season, I will be able to create a ultimate form. Plus, I'll be saving most of my gems that I get from the event anyway. So eventually I'll be able to probably go even deeper into the vault if it's a really good deck. And that's the way forward. I'm just going to use what I have, enjoy the event, not going to concentrate too much on the deck, trying to get the deck. I'm just going to concentrate on playing the event and enjoying myself using the decks that I've got. That's what I'm going to do. So tomorrow we'll do a possible deck combination. Hopefully tomorrow I can find a deck that actually works. A deck that isn't a event deck. So it's a non-event deck I'm going to create tomorrow. And hopefully we can find one that's really usable. Because I would like to get a few of the cards from the event. So mercenary bosses are coming to us tomorrow. It's the second time we've seen mercenary bosses. So you can get the ultra rare for the Freedom Fighter deck. Hopefully you bought the Bio Blitz. You've got a copy of Bio Blitz, so you can create Freedom Fighter if you haven't got that. You can also create one more ultimate form. It's a Commander ultimate form. It's called Fantasy, and you can get the Master Collection card and the ultra rare from the mercenary event tomorrow. So do play. You have to go as high as possible in the prestige to get the rarer ones, and obviously the Master Collection and the 2 ultra rare are going to be very rare, so you have to go as high as possible in the prestige, and you have to try and deal as much damage against them as possible. Participation isn't really going to guarantee you to get them. You also can get something called bribe. So personally, I've already planned for my bribes. I'm going to get my bribes, and anytime I get the most rare ones, I'll use my bribe and try to get a copy of the rare ones. The common ones I'm not really going to go for. However, there's a few wardens, so the more wardens you can get, the better it is for you, because you can then dust the wardens. Each warden will give you 400 pink dust. You can dust, if you get 10 wardens, that's 4,000 pink dust. So try and get the wardens as well. It's really good to get the wardens. They're all wardens, so they're not going to be much use in GVG anyway, so they can be dusted. And that's the way forward. So tomorrow we'll do our possible deck combination. So until then, like, subscribe. Peace. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Have a great day. Bye for now.